So we are here now in February 1911, and we haven't fought a single war yet with Japan, which unfortunately also isn't really in the position to fight wars. In pre-dreadnoughts we are the weakest, in cruisers we are by far the weakest, in light cruisers we are by far the weakest, in destroyers we are okay. We have not a single battleship, whereas every other nation has at least one and up to 6. We are not building a single one. We only have 2 battle cruisers and build 2. But yeah, you can only do so much with the money you have. So we are now continuing, trying to build our forces, and then we'll have to see. I plan a war with Russia because here Japan has a special ability, which is surprise attack. What they did with Russia in the Russian-Japanese war and with the United States in Pearl Harbor, which means you have, if the other nation has ships in your native zone. Now let's buy those. 5 or more centerline main turrets. I think it's time. Well, I can't really afford new ships. This is the problem. Every nation who has a base here, I think it's probably only here. It might be in other maps too. I haven't tried it yet. But at least those 3 nations, at least, if you have a war with them, you start with a surprise attack on their base, or you can start with one, where the ships lay at anchor, and only after you have been spotted, it'll take a time, and then they set up steam. So if you rush in with your destroyers, you can torpedo them while laying at anchor. That is actually a pretty nice thing. Let's see, I'm in captain mode just to make sure, because we're going to have war soon. This is preferences. You can have 3 modes in realism. Captain is you can control every single ship. Rear admiral is you can only control your lead group. And I think admirals is like even worse control. I prefer captain's mode because you can still automate set everything, but you can choose to single-handedly, you can choose what you want to do. Okay, let's continue. They want to buy something from me, that's good. So I get money. Problem is I can't afford anything. I have no idea how high is my budget? 257. Yeah, only the Italian budget is close. Maintenance 6 million. And I guess I should do a reconstruction here after all, and basically just leave it as it is, because that should make it really cheap, and that way I can turn obsolete ships into usable ones and don't have to build new ones before war comes. And I think before we start a war, I can't afford new ships in the necessary amounts, so I have to reconstruct everything. Izumi is long range, so it might be a good radar. Let's see, maybe they have better guns. I've developed better guns meanwhile, I do. Okay, local yard, that's fine too. Let's take this opportunity to increase the ammo. But other than that, I don't think. I could remove the tubes, but I don't have swivel mounts yet. No. Okay. It's just... Oh, fire control. Yeah, that was it. So to give the ships a second life, obviously they will be inferior to a newly designed ship. But inferior is something different to completely obsolete, and if my opponent is using ships that aren't rebuilt, then of course I'll have I at least have the chance to have some advantages. And increase the ammo. Okay, we're already in the red, so let me see, 20 knots, 4 times 7, 8 times 6, 4 times 7 is stronger, but it's slow. Let's put this in foreign station, 1 at least. Okay. Russian Navy has their ships majority on active status. Question is, do I want war now or later? Let's try this. Send a note suggesting they reduce their stance in interest of peace and stability. Let me see how they react. They put some large ships in reserve, so that means they lose. They will lose crew proficiency, and I think crew proficiency here. Crew quality means how good damage control is, how fast they shoot, how accurate they shoot. At least expect that to be. This is why mothballing ships, which would save me a fortune, is only a limited, isn't that great of an idea if you are expecting to need the ships pretty soon. So some obsolete ships that you might need in a long war, yeah, you should probably mothball them just to keep them. Better to have an old pre-dreadnought than having no battleship at all. But if you expect to use them, that's a different story. Okay, Karuma, how is it? No, it's a different type. Okay. I wasn't aware I had built 2 different types. It has a center mount. Okay. Okay. I didn't remember that I built 2 different types. Okay. Does it have central firing? It does. Okay, then it should be fun. Okay. Let's sell them something, and I am now positive again, so I can continue rebuilding. Were those the ones? Yeah. This is like the idea of giving the old ships a second life is quite interesting, because basically it also means that if you intend to keep the ships for a long time, that you might actually build them a little bit bigger than what they are right now to make them more useful in the long run. And the other thing is you can replace the machinery. So if let's save this, because this is the one I want to, but let's just imagine I did a rebuild here, and I could replace the machinery. Now we have 631 tons, but in between the technology has evolved. So let's see, I actually save almost 100 tons. So getting 1 knot faster only costs 29 tons more, which is really interesting and might be an option. The point is though, it takes 10 months, and the basic hull is still only 4-inch gunned cruiser with only 2-inch armor belt, and unfortunately I can't change anything here. I've read that in Rule the Waves 2 they will allow you to add, I think, 1 inch to the deck, so better protection against bombs, because it will have aircraft carriers too. Better protection against bombs and long-range fire. But yeah, I think the basic idea in general is quite interesting, and to have the to think ahead and rather build the ship 500 tons bigger, which will make it more expensive now, but then will save you from the necessity to build new ships later. That might actually be really worth it. Okay, if I rebuild those really old ones, do I have dual mounts? Yeah, I actually do. Let me see whether that works. $14 tons too much. Holy, that's a lot. Okay. I mean, they are. I intend to use them as torpedo boats. It only takes 3 turns and only Well, still 1.3 million. Should I do that? I guess it's cheaper than new ones, and I want as many as possible. So yeah, I'll even modernize these really old destroyers. Okay, my minesweepers are ready. Let's put them immediately in. Ah, yeah, of course. Let the Navy League. The problem is I might enter war with Great Britain, and that's like the last thing I want to have. But let's put the minesweepers immediately back into mothballed. It might reduce their effectiveness in convoy escort. I have no idea. Probably, if it's designed well, the game, then it would. But I'd rather save the money. Okay, those are obsolete too, then let's design those too. And let's give them 2 swivel mounts, 2 double swivel mounts, and they actually don't even need a decrease in gunpowder. Perfect. Can even add, wait. Oh, I can't add more. How much do the guns weigh? Ammo weigh? Where does it say how much the... Oh, it doesn't say anything. Weird. Okay. That's good. So I can even make those ancient destroyers usable. More minesweepers, cruisers, everything is getting modernized. I can build now 1100 tons, and I'm reconstructing some with almost only a third of that. That's desperate, I guess. That is the right word. Okay, is it already? Yeah. Do I already have a design? Yes, I do. Okay, let's finish those two. And I think I probably will rebuild the non-obsolete ones as well, because they only have 2 torpedoes, and I could give them double. 35 tons. That's a lot. And that's why if I had designed them with enough room to change, that might have been interesting. Let's see, it's now, rebuild cost is 420. If I replace the machinery, it's 1.3 million, and it doesn't even change that. That's disappointing. What can I do? And this is, there you see one of the really challenging and interesting parts about the redesign, or about the ship design. You have to make decisions like that. Do you want to keep the hulls usable? I mean, it's 420 million, but I think to build a new one will roughly cost 200,000 for 9 or 10 turns, so roughly 2 million. I can rebuild 5 of those for the price of 1 new. And if I can make those 5 usable, it should be worth it. Can go down to 2-inch, which basically means they are artillery is basically completely useless. Can't do that. What if I reduce? No, that doesn't change anything. I mean, I could replace the machinery and make them slower, but the price that costs. Price it costs probably isn't worth it. Well, whether Japan was famous for reusing, yeah, in some degree, famous probably not, but yeah, they did it. they had the problem I have here, where you see that it's well designed. But they used like armored cruisers and changed them into mine layers and things like that. Do I already have mines? No, I don't even have them developed yet. Okay. If I change the machinery and make them slower, yeah, that would work. The problem is then I'm at 1.2 million. And if I design a new destroyer, 900 tons, it's twice the price, but then I have a new one. So I don't think it's worth redesigning them. I can now build 1,100. Let me see if that will even allow me another torpedo launcher. From weight, yes. Too many centerline gun and torpedo mounts, which means I have to aft centerline, I have to remove guns, but I'm using them as torpedo boats mostly. I can't. I thought probably was just the message that I'll soon be able to build them. Centerline guns, too many centerline guns and torpedo mounts. Okay, so one more of the guns gone. I can't even build those. What is the current research? Where was it? Light forces. Details. 900 tons. Okay, so 900 is the current maximum. Let me see. This is 900. Forward center line. 30 knots, medium, normal. If I delete that one, could I add another turret? Another torpedo launcher? No, 11 tons. So I guess that design isn't even bad. Do I need new destroyers? Well, I could use them, but the rebuilt ones will have a lot of torpedoes. So I guess battleships is a bigger priority than the small forces, because my battleships are almost non-existent. It's so abysmal what I have here. And do I even have submarines? I can't remember. Steel industry, good. Tension plus one. Ugh. At some point we have to fight a war. 13-inch guns, okay, good. I'm just afraid that it's gonna be with Great Britain soon, which will be quite uncomfortable. Okay, I have 1.2 million. Is everything modernized that needs to be modernized urgently? I have no more obsolete ships. Do they have? They do have the newest fires, the newest fire control system. Question is, there are better guns now. How much does it take? 9 million and 8 months. I can't afford that. I can't take my battleships out of line for 9 months. So they are not going to be modernized anymore, I guess. So let's design ourselves a new battleship, which will come too late for this war, I'm afraid, for the coming war. But nevertheless, I can afford 36,000 tons, and I should expand it, by the way. Let's try what the biggest is, what I can do. I would love to have them at 21 knots. Let me see, it can punch through 14.4. So if I want to be immune, I need to, this is the so-called immune zone, by the way. It's designed nicely. If you're too close to another ship, it can punch through your broadside. And if you're too far away, it can punch through your deck, because the shells are coming from so high above. So everything in between. This ship, like for instance, with these values, deck 3 would be immune to deck hits. Okay, that's unrealistic. Bad example. Let's say it's 1.5 inches. I'd reduce the deck to 1.5. Then it'd have an immune zone from roughly 1200 to somewhat in between here. No, from 1200 to, let's say, 9,000. From 12,000 to something like 9,000 in between. And if you know this, and if you're a really good player, you probably keep your ships at that distance, which means they are basically immune to heavy hits. You still have superstructure hits, and you see that it is all or nothing armored design, I think. Looks like it. So it'll have extended deck, and extended belt can still be penetrated and so on. But this would be an option. I can have 5 turrets now. So I can either could reduce the armor, but I don't want to reduce armor, and I still need 180 shots because I don't want to run out of shells. Torpedo defense, yes, I can reduce the conning tower, I guess. That's barely any weight. If they are too weak, you can have, if you have a hit, your whole ship can blow up. So the turrets need to be really strong. What I could do actually is make it short range. That means it's not that usable around the world, but I'll only fight in the Northern Pacific, and in Northeast Asia and Southeast Asia, and in both I have bases. So I can use short range chips. That's actually the solution, I guess. Could I even make it fast? Hey, I can even make it at 23 knots this way. Okay. How thick could the armor be? I think I make it a 23 knot, because that's what I'd aim for in the mid-term. Actually, I think I'm going to design a short range ship. It's not ideal, but I think the best I can have for now. Submerged, I can throw those out. They're useless anyways. Maybe more secondaries, no, but I could have smaller ones in addition, because you don't want to get torpedoed, never, if you can avoid it. And the more of those guns I have, the more I can rain shells on enemy destroyers. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this design. Asahi. So how much? 3.6 million. Oh my god. Yeah, no choice though. And the initial costs of 7 million, because I think that represents both the tooling and of course making the designs takes some time too. Because another thing is, what I realized is, if you open design, you have 10% change, and if I change something now, like do this, it changes a little here, and I guess that means the initial price is probably far lower, because you only have done small changes instead of designing a whole new ship. But yes, let's hope I can somehow reduce tension with the Brits and only fight the Russians, which are dangerous enough. Okay, I could do a disarmament. The problem is, if I do a disarmament, I can probably not build new ships. How long? And it's only 6 months until... let's try. If I do this, I'll have war with Great Britain. An agreement. Okay, we could do this. I mean, I think the chance of them accepting is almost nil, because the tensions are so high. Yeah. But better than a disarmament conference in which I am stripped of my ships. And I mean, at some point I have to fight a war. Okay, Foreign Sea Gaff. Do I want war? No. Does the almanac say? 1 battleship? None. Ah, fuck it. At some point we need war. Medium range submarines, and now I'm at war. And here it is, surprise attack, it's on Port Arthur. Battle size 1, I have 3 battle cruisers, they have 19. Wow. 19 pre-dreadnoughts are at anchor. Should have probably waited until the other destroyers are finished, because that'll mean a lot of my destroyers are not, don't have that many torps yet. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Now this is how the battle is fought. We see amazing graphics, as we know from this game. We only bring 4 battleships. Oh my. Okay. Or pre-dreadnoughts, I should say. So I let those follow the first one. What do they have? 20 knot, one of those. And those are light cruisers. Their mission is green, yeah, let's keep them at that. They can do 17 and they can do, how much can they do? 18, okay. So let's speed with full speed towards Port Arthur. Let me see, 4 torpedoes, okay, they have double mounts. They only have single mounts. Single, double. Well, unfortunately only a limited number of torpedoes. But yeah, nothing I can do about that. Full speed towards Port Arthur. Now I'm waiting a little, because the thing is, if there are friendly units too close, they'll refuse to launch torpedoes, which would obviously be a nightmare. I'd rather sink my own destroyer here than giving up the chance of sinking a Russian battleship. Okay, what do we have here? Doesn't even say, not identified yet. We see it's night. It's a night attack. So first seeing other ships without radar is quite difficult, and then identifying them obviously too. Oh, and they have launched torpedoes themselves and hit like crazy. Yeah, that wasn't really what I wanted. I should have given them the order to hold their fire. Hold torpedo fire, that's it. Because now everything went past them. On the other hand, I don't know. It's really... Do they still have some? 1, that's all. Oh my. Okay. Let's try this. Charge in. I mean, in the end we'll see that I probably only take out 2 to 3 battleships, which is better than nothing, obviously. But against their superiority helps us nothing. And I miss. And it's only a DD and they shoot torpedoes at it. 1 torpedo left, okay. High, okay. That's what I intended to do, to use them manually. And they launched torpedoes at an AMC. I should have given them the order to not do it. Now they can retreat, because I don't want them to interfere. And now I give them the order to hold torpedo fire. It's just a waste to torpedo ships that aren't really valuable. MC. Okay, let's see. Fire torpedoes, battle cruiser, high hit probability. Let's fire it. He still has torpedoes, fire at battle cruiser, battleship. Where is the battleship behind him? Okay. Yeah, let's fire at the battleship. And fire. Friendly, this is what I meant. Friendly ships in line of fire. I mean, you could say it's nice that they help you not to kill your own ships, but if it makes your attack less effective, yeah, could be better. Okay, I'll have those 3 DDs hunt that one battleship that went north, and let the others continue charging towards Port Arthur. Let's see, do they have torpedoes left? He has one. Shoot that one at the battleship as well, and then he's supposed to retreat. Can he fire? Yeah, he can. Let's fire the battle cruiser. And he's out of torpedoes as well, so let's have him run away as well. And my torpedoes miss. He's sunk. Oh, nice. That's a pre-dreadnought, 410-inch. Okay. BA? What is a BA? Huh, weird. Okay, let's move up here. Try to get the broadside, and I'll try to just torp another battleship. Not to sink him. Oh, yeah, I waited too long. He got killed by enemy gunfire. And that was only a cruiser? No, I think that was a destroyer, wasn't it? Battleship. No, it's actually only a heavy cruiser. Well then, let's go back. I rather sink battleships. So I've lost my first ship of the war. Where are my battleships? Still miles away. So from what I understand is, if you can identify a ship, and it says it's able to do three knots, that means it's sinking. And I think that one should be. He was hit by several torpedoes. I hope that means he's going under. Because I don't want to waste torpedoes. That looks pretty slow too. Let's have him fire torpedoes. This MS. Why can't I fire that unidentified? Probably because it's not identified, but still, it should be possible. Okay, it's a cruiser. No. I want battleships. Asagi. Ah, this one. I must launch torpedoes before he's sunk too, I guess. Yeah, let's fire this cruiser then. And I can only launch one manually per turn, or per click. And one turn is, I think, a minute. fire one on this pre-dreadnought. Oh, it has fired already, was that one. Okay, and this one on the battleship. Fire. Can't shoot at that one. Where's... oh, there's another battle cruiser. Let's try to hit him. And... this one? No, not cruiser, not a light cruiser. Let's hope the battle cruiser continues this way. What is his health? Damage 89% and flooding. He's probably going down next round. So I need to launch torpedoes now. While I still can. Out of arc. Out of arc. From the front is not ideal. Yeah, well, can't do. Okay, he's out too. So let's have him try to get away. What is this health? 45. They've taken a beating like hell. Even though they had us at the surprise on their side. They are out too, so they can run as well. Full speed. I think that's it. Yeah, they're all running now. So I could... good. One more hit. And another hit. Perfect. 2 hits on the battleship. Good. And the Asagiri is going down. Yeah. Where are my battleships? Reduce speed in case they have taken damage. The faster they go, the more likely it is that the damage increases. So as soon as they are out of trouble, they can go to cruise speed. And like this one seems to be damaged, but no flooding. Okay. Oh, let's still reduce it to 12. And I think I'm actually gonna take manual control back to them, from them, and have them run at full speed. It won't make a big difference, this 1 knot, but there's no reason to have them go slower than necessary when I want to be able to influence the battle here a little more. Identified, I have sunk 1 destroyer and 1 battle cruiser, but I think I should have taken down more. I have to be careful. If that is a destroyer, then he's going to try to torpedo me. Is that actually only a battleship? Huh. Let's see. Oh, according to it, it is a pre-dreadnought battleship. And if you look at the size of the ships, it seems like that. It's correct. And I get hit by a torpedo, of course. Because I've gone too long in a straight line. What is this state? Well, it's still okay, I guess. With a little luck, it should survive. That would be like a worst case, if I actually, by getting too greedy, lose battleships in a battle that was at least to some degree already won. Okay, course change. Because what gets you torpedoed obviously is to have the ship go in a straight line. Why are the cruisers still lagging behind? Aren't they supposed to help? Scout. I'll just have them follow. Heavy cruiser. Is it 2? Yeah, it's 2. Okay. This is 3 light cruisers. I'll have them follow the other battleships and fight with them as well. Okay, independent. Can only have one division follow another division, so I need to give them a new mission. I have to change the lead formation and the role in this regard, and I have to be careful here. It's flooding and it has taken serious damage. I think I'll have to take it out. If those ships aren't already damaged, which they probably aren't, they are, and he's currently fighting too, whereas I chase destroyers. At least that's what I see. So I guess they immediately turn left to help the Kashima. Okay, Kashima, there are now torpedoes running at him, I'm sure. I think turning starboard. Why doesn't it change? Is the rudder stuck? Oh, the rudder is jammed. Okay. Maybe slowing down might save it. With a little luck, slowing down might save it. The problem is when he slows down, he's more easy to hit by artillery. So I need to accelerate again. Oh, he's avoiding torpedoes. And I think I actually managed to avoid them by slowing down. But he's taking tremendous damage. She.